Okay, today we're going to talk about troubleshooting. PC troubleshooting is not an innate skill. Many people are very, very bad at it. They cannot think their way through all the different ways to fix a PC. And in general, when you call a help desk, that person probably has very little expertise in troubleshooting. And because of that, they make troubleshooting flowcharts. So we're going to start today about talking about flowcharts, explaining flowcharts, making some flowcharts, and eventually going and looking at some troubleshooting flowcharts. This program is called Lucid Chart. You guys have access to it. You guys already have an account. You probably don't even know it. Okay? Through your Google Apps. If you go over, if you're logged in your Gmail like I told you to be, if you go over on your Gmail and you click on this little thing right here, right? Is everybody looking up at my screen? Yeah. Click on this and you see your Google Apps, and it's not in this list. You go to more, and then you'll see down for even more Google, you'll see Lucid Chart diagrams down there. If you click on that, you'll come up to a screen that looks like this. I want everybody to click on that screen. Yes, you agree to it.
Accept.
Just close that. You're going to be able to create them, import them, search them, and we're going to go over how to make Lucid Charts and basically what they look like, okay? So on your basic screen, you guys have nothing. I've got some folders and I've got some charts that I've already got started. It's really easy to make a folder. It's really easy to make a chart. All you have to do is right click in the big area and you can say, hey, I want to make a folder or I want to make a new document. If you click and say you want to make a new document, you're going to end up right here. And I'm going to show you some of the basics. There's really only three things used in a computer flowchart. Okay? 3 different items, and those are the first 3 items that you see right here in the flowchart. And if I hover my mouse over it, it tells you what it's for. Okay? So the square is for a process. That's when you do something. Okay? The diamond is for a decision. That's when you think and you do one thing or another. Okay? And then the last thing over here is a terminator, which is when you say the flowchart is complete. Okay? So we're gonna make a basic flowchart. It's not gonna be a good one, okay, but let's go through the basic process of making a flowchart. Okay? So we're gonna define the there's some predefined processes too that you can have there too, but we're gonna go ahead and start with a process. Like turn on the PC. Okay, that's a process. This is something you're doing. Okay? And then we're going to go and make a decision or something to think about. Did it start normally? Okay? If the answer to that is yeah, okay, look, we can also connect these together. See, there we go. If the answer is yes, what do? Nothing. We're done, right? Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, I call this the basic troubleshooting flowchart. Okay, so I'm just saying when the first time when you start thinking through flowcharts, I'm just kind of showing you that, and then we're going to have you guys do one, and we're going to see how well they work. Okay, so when we go and we're troubleshooting a PC, we turn it on. Did it start? No. Okay, what if it didn't start? Okay. What's something that we can check when we're doing our basic troubleshooting? It's the first thing I would check to see if the computer's working. Think smart. Is it plugged in? That's exactly. Is it plugged in? Okay. So if the answer was, well, let me not put yes there. I want to put yes down here. I want to move this one too. To here. I think it'll let me do that. There we go. Okay, so if it is plugged in, and if it isn't plugged in, we have different things. Okay, so if it's not plugged in, what are we going to tell it to do? What's the process that we're going to do next if it is not plugged in?
Plug it in.
Plug it in, okay?
Find appropriate power for it. Plug in.
Okay, and then after we plug it in, where would I go on my chart next?
Did it start normally?
I would go right back there. You are correct, sir.
Wow.
So I would go right, not there. I didn't say there. I would go right back here to did it start normally. Come on, no. Get over here. There we go. Okay, you understand the process, basically. Making a flowchart, sometimes you come back to yourself because you said, hey, is it plugged in? No, it's not plugged in. Okay, dummy, plug it in. Go back here. Okay, but flowcharts are this basic, and they have to be this basic because most people can't, many people, not most, I shouldn't say most, there are people that can't think through the most basic troubleshooting steps. This, to you, seems silly. Why do I have to ask if it's plugged in? Okay, let's go to the next step. Most common thing. Okay, so let's say it is plugged in. What's the next thing I can ask if the answer to this is yes? Okay?
Something like an on and off switch at the back.
Okay, there's one. Is the rear power switch on? And by the way, you can make these bigger, smaller to make things fit, and you can correct your spelling. Use switch run. There we go. Okay, so if it's on, we're gonna go here. If it's off, we're gonna go here. Okay, so if it's off, what's our process then?
Turn it on.
On. Okay, and then
Goes back to
we're gonna go back.
or turn on the PC actually.
That's a good call. Should go back to turn on the PC, right? In fact, is it plugged in? Should go back to turn on the PC too, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Why do we think it's
Good call, Thomas.
Yeah.
I think we can move these arcs too. I can't seem to grab the arc.
I got a bunch of flowchart. Oh, cool. Story, bro. What's it gonna do?
Can't get it to move. Oh well. Okay, so turn it on,
There it is.
and then we go back here. What if it's not on? If it is on, then what else? What else? Power. We're just talking power, right? We're just all this right now is just trying to get to is there power on the PC. So if it's plugged in and the rear power switch is on, is there anything else that could be an issue?
Monitor on.
We're still talking power. We're still
Power
talking.
supply working?
That's too hard, Thomas.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't go to that, but we still don't know there's power on the back of the PC. Most common thing that
the
step
extension, the core thing, the
Power.
actual power thing. You can have that thing.
is the power strip.
There we go.
on.
Strips. That's what
Okay, happens all the time. All the time. Seriously, I'll go down and say none of my computers are turned on. All of them are off. I'm like, are they on? Yes. Are they plugged in? Yes. Is the power strip on? Of course it is. You go down there and you go click. Now come on. Like really? There was no red light. They don't know that 0 isn't the O for on. So if it has a 0 and a 1, they'll put it on 0. Like 0 means on, not 0 means off. Which 0 does mean off, right? 0, 1, it's a bit thing.
Yeah.
They should have done that. They should never do that. Because who knows that? Who knows 0 and 1 is on or off? Only a computer guy, right? Someone who's had a computer class and understands the bits and bytes and understands that a bit is on if it's on a 1, if it's off, it's on a 0. Why would you do that? Why would you put that on the back of the power switch? Why wouldn't you write on and off? Really? This isn't the 80s. It isn't just... Okay.
As you're talking about.
Okay, so is the power strip on? If the answer is yes, we'll continue on. If the answer is no, we're gonna go up here. Not way over there. We'll go here. Can I grab it? Can I grab it? I want to grab it. Okay. Turn.
Good enough.
Turn it on.
Easy.
Going crazy, going crazy. Okay, so we're gonna turn it on, and then we're gonna go back over here to turn on the PC, right? Okay, now we're just. Is there anything else that can be power coming into the wall? Okay, now we asked it to start normally. That's the bad question, right? Bad question. Why? Why is it a bad question? What does normally mean?
all the boot
So let's-
So many different ways to describe normal.
Yeah, what is normal? So what's a better question?
Did it go through all the boot processes?
Did you see a boot screen? It's a better
Can't say
question,
process
right?
time.
If they saw BIOS, is it a power problem?
No.
No, right?
So what
We
do
could pass this whole thing because we don't want to. If we said normally, what if Windows didn't load? We're going checking all this stuff, and all it did was reboot after Windows loaded. It's like, bad question. Okay, so question should be: did we see the boot? Maybe if we want to be technical, you can say /BIOS screen, or you can say, did you see a startup screen? That's probably something the user would be able to identify with. If you said, "Oh no, did you see anything when it was starting up? Anything on the monitor at all? The word IBM or something? Did it say Dell for a second?" Well, yeah. Okay. Well, then we need to move on and ask other questions. Okay. So if the power strip is on, so if we get all the way to here, if we did not see a startup screen, it is plugged in, the rear power switch is on, the power strip is on, what else can we check? It is possible, okay, it is possible that power cords can go bad. We have had power cords go bad. So the last thing in this, okay, number one, well, I guess there's two more things. Is there power at the outlet? How do we have them check that? If the monitor is plugged into the same outlet, and the monitor's turning on, then the outlet's good. Right? So that's something that you could have a check in your flowchart. The other thing is you could swap the power cords. Take the monitor one and put it in the PC. I mean, because usually they're next to each other most of the time, right? And you can just swap the two. Does the monitor come on now? Does PC come on now? Okay. So I'm just gonna say, and this is kind of encompasses that whole thing. Are power cords good? I jumped some steps there. I realized I just jumped some steps there for that. Okay, but if the power codes are good, then what are we gonna suspect? We got no BIOS. We got no nothing. We're gonna suspect a power supply. So at that point, we're gonna jump on to a whole nother. Okay, so if the power supply is good, then we're gonna go a whole nother thing. I'm gonna put this other one in here. Predefined process. We're going to power supply flowchart. Okay, because at this point right here, we're a whole nother flowchart, right? To check a power supply. I mean, we keep going. Our flowchart could get ginormous. Okay. Okay. Would you like to see a ginormous flowchart? Let's go look at our ginormous flowchart. That I have. Have you seen it on our webpage yet? Oh, I haven't changed my new password yet. I need to save. Yes, update password. Yes, yes. Okay, so if we go down and look at chapter 16, I don't have chapter 16 open yet. You can't see it. Haha, it's hidden. Let's see. Chapter 16 is right here. I gotta turn editing on, but I like that nice melted PC I got in the picture there. This is a flowchart. Now what we don't really want to do is to go through this flowchart, right? Okay, we don't really want to have this flowchart as a thing. Now, I could print this whole thing off, right? And it goes through. I'm gonna zoom. I'm gonna do some zooming here. Did I just over zoom?
Are you calling your horses, Thomas?
So big it doesn't want to load good. Let's see, where's our first? There we go. Here's theirs. Does the power come on? Yes. Is there a live screen? Okay, that's saying, is there anything? Do we see anything? Nope. So they go, okay, well then let's go to a video failure one. They go to the video failure. Yes. Is it a new build? Yes. Check power requirement versus rating. So they're saying, In his flowchart, he's saying, if it's a new build, did you put a big enough power supply in your computer dummy? Okay. No. Does it need 2 tries to boot? Yes. There's a premature power signal, try a different power supply, or no. Do you hear more than 1 beep? Yes. Oh, check the motherboard failure chart. Okay. No. Is there new hardware installed? Yes. Remove it. Try it again. Okay. No. Is there a loud fan noise? Yes. Try cleaning it out, looking for obstructions. No. Is there a hard drive error? No. Quality, so you see this, he's jumping, he's not asking every question. Okay. This flowchart is a hardware, or is for a computer repair person, so he's making some assumptions that, okay, I'm gonna assume that, okay, here we go. Does the power come on? No. Is the AAC power source tested? And he's including everything in that, right? No. Connect to a good outlet? Yes. Is it got a universal input? No. Select proper voltage on the rear. In other words, we've had that before. Oh, that was a terrible one too. A student checked the power supply on every single one of the computers that we got one year and said they were all bad, and we bought all new power supplies for all these computers we got from the Air Force. And the only thing that was wrong with them, was they were set on 220 instead of 110. So they didn't work. Okay, so this power supply I can take to Europe, or I can take to the United States. All I have to do is switch that right there, because our input voltage is different. And if I have it on the wrong one, it doesn't work. So I have a whole box of new power supplies for these over there. Didn't need them. Okay, because they never checked it. But these all came from the U.S. Army and Europe. So all of them were set to they all came from the same place. They're all set for European power. So that's what that asking is, if it's universal power supply or not. Make sure you've got the right voltage on the rear of it, and then go back up to the beginning. It doesn't say that, it just terminates right here. When it says select proper power voltage, really it's assuming that you're trying it all over again if it doesn't come on. Okay? Check motherboard lead. How many times have we gotten that wrong? You guys haven't gotten that wrong that often. Second block has gotten that wrong. One person.
Motherboard lead.
The button.
Oh.
Okay, the lead, that's what we're talking about when we hook that wire that goes from this up to the motherboard. If you've got that on or wrong, which this person has done every single time, not to use any names in the class since we're recording it, he's done it wrong almost every time. It's like he's guessing, well, there's 8 places it could go on, I'll just try one of these, So every time it's like, it doesn't work now. And every time we pull it out. Have you done that too?
No.
Okay.
You thought I did, but that wasn't it. Yeah, it was actually memory. Memory wasn't in on the way.
Okay. So my point is here that motherboard, charts can get big. Now, I've got all these broken down. Like that's one big, huge one. This is just one on power supplies. Okay. Nice, small, little one. And by the way, when you're taking your final exam, you're allowed to use the flowcharts. Okay. I want you to get used to looking at flowcharts to help you think. Now this one is closer to what we just did. Okay. So does the power come on? He's asking a question that I don't know what the answer to that is. What do you mean, does the power come on? If the power came on, why are we on the power chart? Okay, so I don't really know what that means. Okay, so is there a live screen? No. So the power comes on. I don't understand what that means. How do we know the power's on if there's no live screen? It's just kind of weird. I don't like this flowchart here. So no. Is there a good power source? Try a better outlet. Yes. Is the 110, 220 voltage set? See, if we use this chart, we would have not bought 15 power supplies. No. Well, then select the proper one, stupid. Okay, yes. Is that motherboard lead installed correctly? No. Check the manual and connect it to the right place, dummy. Yes. Is the power switch failed? Yes, replace the switch or substitute front panel reset switch if available. No. Power supply connections to the motherboard correct? No. Okay, so it's saying make sure you get the P1 and the P4 connected. Yes. Does the hard drive spin up? I don't like that indication, but it's possible that it's, and I guess that's what he's saying. If you hear the power come on and you don't get a good screen, video failure chart, I'd have to look at that one because most of the time it's not video, it's motherboard. What are you doing?
I don't know.
What are you looking at? Oh, you're just looking at that little finger there. Okay, so here's what I want you guys to do. We're gonna do a little exercise, little flow chart exercise. Okay. I want you to make a flow chart that starts we're gonna go to lab 210, and I'm gonna sit in the front right seat of lab 210, and you need to write a flow chart that gets me to the seat I'm sitting in now. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I want you to play with Lucid Chart. I want you to make a flow chart that gets me from the front right seat, 210, to where I'm at now. If I follow the flow chart,
Can we go like down there and look at this?
Here, well, I'll make it easier. Let's go from standing outside Mrs. Alexander's door.
Okay.
I'm going to be standing outside her door, Mrs. A's door. And I'm going to get to this chair right here. Okay? And you have to write out a flow chart, then we're going to print them both out, and we're going to see if you can get me to this chair. Okay?
Okay. Well,
should I be counting steps? Proper measurements?
You don't have to count steps.
We are going to call this.
By the way, only one student has ever gotten me to sit down.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Be very thorough. I'm going to do exactly what your flow chart says.
Okay. So this isn't really a yes or no thing, right? It's